What's up, guys? Welcome back to Esk8Exchange, a show where we talk about Esk8, MBoards, anything else going on in the electric skateboard industry. In the studio, of course, we've got James.
Hey.
We got Jacob.
Hello.
We've got Maddie behind camera. And we got Miles tucked in the corner back here, actually. He's not on camera today, but that's okay.
That's fine.
So we've got a show.
Yes.
We've got a show today. Maddie wrote the show today, so thank you, Maddie, for,
These are the good ones.
for doing that.
Yes, I love these ones.
Of course, we always start with our updates. So CNC machines going well. I've been doing heat sinks. They starting to look pretty clean.
Yep.
We didn't break any tools this week.
I have not broken any tools this week. Knock on wood.
Knock on the wood.
Yeah, no, it's starting to look really good. It's kind of exciting to see, the machine actually doing things. We've got the quick changer.
Yep, with the air compressor and stuff.
Yep.
And it got quieter too.
About that. So, oh my God. So
we all noticed that. We're like, hey.
So let's talk about gearing ratio for a second, guys.
Look, it's not like these things like they just give them to you and they're like, here you go. Here's how you do this.
No.
Yeah.
It was,
these things are not.
I
that
knew.
simple.
I knew that I totally just accidentally did something. So the machine spindle, it's got two settings. It's got a low gear and a high gear. So low gear, you've got more horsepower, but less RPM.
Okay.
And then the high gear, you've got less. The reverse of that, so less horsepower but more RPM, right?
Okay.
So I switched mine from low to high because it's almost so far most of the people who are using my machine have it in high gear.
Okay.
Cool. But in the machine controller, I never told it that I did that. It was in low gear. So when I'm running these like face cutter like end mills, we're supposed to be running them at like 2,500. Well, I'm not exactly sure what the gearing ratio is, but we were running them probably at 10,000 RPM instead of 20. So it was so loud. I can't believe we didn't break shit.
Right.
But so now that I've actually told the machine what gear we're in, it's so much quieter, way more dependable. But anyway, I was like,
there we go.
Whoops, the daisies.
We were all in the warehouse ready to put on our headphones.
I know.
It was so loud.
Yeah,
like, what are you doing over there?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
But the heat sinks are looking pretty clean though, so I'm really excited about that. We're getting some really beautiful finishes on the backs. The fronts are looking good. I just got to work on the floor finishes.
Okay.
Like the areas between the fins could use some work.
Okay.
But I think we're going to end up tumbling these anyway, potentially, and anodizing them. So I'm not sure how important those floor finishes are if we're going to tumble them anyway, or sandblast and whatever we end up doing. So we'll figure that out still.
Yeah.
We were talking about potentially anodizing and then going back and doing all the chamfers after. So we have like a nice silver like outline on like the black or whatever color we end up doing. Yeah. So anyways, so I'm excited about that. So they are looking pretty good.
They are.
We're gonna start doing MBoards mounts or like just motor mounts pretty soon too. So I've been doing heat sinks as a flat, relatively easy design. I think we've kind of got heat sinks. I can make them now beginning to end. So we're gonna try to start doing some more like intricate designs. But I'm excited to do that.
Yeah. And then, well, speaking of design, didn't you kind of change the design a little bit on the heat sink? Because weren't we kind of talking about all this yesterday? Like
I think
metal to mass, airflow.
I think we generally talked about like changing the design now for manufacturing, how our original heatsink design would take like 2+ hours to make. Okay. Now we're down to like about half an hour per heatsink. I still think we can go sub 20 minutes.
Okay.
But I really think, here's a good topic. I think you guys can weigh on this. A heatsink in many other applications, there are high airflow or potentially an active cooling fan on the heatsink. So the fins are really important. I feel like in our industry or where the heatsink is, of course there is airflow, but my question is the scale of things. Are those fins really doing anything, or is it just the mass, the hunk of metal that's doing most of the work? I want to know are the fins actually providing real cooling, or is it just if it was just a straight block of metal, no fins at all? Would that even provide more because there's more mass?
Yeah, more mass.
So we're trying to figure that out.
My theory was the airflow. So I think the additional airflow, even disrupting the airflow, the current design is just a very through, the air just kind of passes really fast. I think having some sort of disruption would also help. You look at race cars or cars in general, they kind of funnel the air to increase the speed of the intake, right? That's like what an air intake does. So if by funneling or channeling that air, again, does it provide anything? Are we talking 10-degree difference or zero?
And then the temperature of the air is going to also matter too.
That's weird though, because yesterday when you checked the ESC when you got back, when you checked the heatsink, it was 88, but the ground temperature was over 160.
Yep.
So
and the rest of the board, I think even the carbon fiber was like 95.
Yeah, 95, and then the tires were like 130. I thought even that was odd.
I just don't think it was ridden long enough to actually come up to ambient.
Well, yeah. Well, I just went from here to the gas station and then like around the putter ground for a second.
Because the heatsink cannot cool anything sub-ambient. So if it's 100 degrees outside, your heatsink will not cool to 100. It'll actually increase. It'll actually increase your ESC to 100 degrees faster.
Yep, because you're
but
pulling
then
that hot air.
Hopefully keep it from going any higher. Anyways, so the whole idea is, are the fins actually doing work for us, or is it better to just have a nice chunk of metal on it to soak that heat up? Yeah. Right? Do we just do the fins because it looks cool and it's marketable, or are we actually doing it because it actually works? And I think that's what we have to figure out.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have to deal with these fins and we can make it more of a chunk of metal, we can be producing these heat sinks in like sub 10 minutes.
Yeah, but it just wouldn't be as pretty then.
No, they're not as pretty.
That's why and some people don't, I mean, some people like shit to function, but some people like shit to function and look really cool.
Right. You know? So we want to find a balance between like function over aesthetics and also manufacturability. Because if it takes us an hour to make a heat sink and I can make 8 of them in a whole day, that's not correct. No. That can't work that way.
Nope.
So anyways, the goal is though to be able to produce an entire month's worth of components, whatever that component is, in one day. So if we sell 25 heat sinks in a month, I'd like to be able to make 25 in a day.
Okay.
Figure that out. That way, if we have 30 different products, each day we tool our station for that product,
some shit out,
and we do that for the whole day.
Cool.
Now, we'll see if that's reasonable.
About one every 10 minutes.
Right. So we'll see. Depends on how many we're selling, depending on a price, like whatever. We'll figure all that out.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's for another day.
I love this next topic that we can talk about. I know. I'm trying so hard not to start laughing at it.
So the next topic, and this is not talking shit about anybody. I just think it's funny. And
in today's news,
hopefully they feel it's funny too.
Yeah,
but
you should.
The Meepo Voyager just came out, and they started shipping boards. Yep. And you open up this beautiful packaging, and it's got this quick start guide, right? It says it right on the box. They misspelled start.
Yep.
And it says quick shart guide.
Oh, yes.
I'm like, guys.
I love it.
So,
and that's just not like a one-off thing.
And I'm not trying to come across shitty or anything. No. So please take this.
Yeah. It's just
a
grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt.
What I find interesting is the brands based out of China are doing increasingly way better at building boards. Their boards are getting really good.
They're getting better.
But two things that I think all the companies in China struggle with: marketing, because they are just not good at marketing. I think, and also like English.
English.
So I don't, which is fine. I don't know a lick of Chinese. Yeah. I don't know any other language really. So, but my question is, why they have these U.S. or American ambassadors? Send your booklets, send your manuals to your U.S. ambassadors, have them read it, and then like give them a set of wheels or give them a board or something to sit there, because a lot of times it's all spelled right. It's just the grammar is horrible. So just have someone reread it, change some words around, make it sound right, so you're not dealing with stuff like this. Because clearly, if they had just sent this over to any of their ambassadors to proofread, they would have clearly seen that right from the beginning. So I don't know how many boxes they got produced with that word, the word shart on it.
That's freaking awesome.
It's insane though.
It's so big.
Like, it's so big. It's a massive shart.
It's not
on there.
like, in fine print.
Yeah, so I just
we've seen a few of these manuals where
we've sent some.
We laugh about them.
Yeah,
we get some weird board and we just like, oh bro, give me that manual. I got to read this.
I got to see it.
And you get a couple pages in and your mind is just like, I don't really understand what these people are talking about.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, I'm going to throw this manual to the side.
Especially this community, this community, anybody would proofread anything for minimal.
Yeah.
For a set of belts, probably.
And I get it. It's pretty useless to some of us, to us sitting, experienced people, but to somebody that's just bought it or has bought it, for their teenage kid, like they're gonna look at it. The parents are gonna read these things, and it's gonna sound so bad.
Well, and it doesn't really give. If you don't know anything about Meepo, it doesn't give you a lot of confidence.
No,
it's like they can't get their packaging right. What is a board gonna be fine? Like the board's fine, right?
Yeah.
So far, so good.
I haven't got to hop on it, but I've heard good things.
It's a good things. Boosted design.
Right. So I'm sure the board's fine, design. But the question, but why could we not? I just don't get. So I'm hoping that these companies take some notes and start utilizing. They already have ambassadors. That's the thing. utilize them for their English speaking skills. Just as we have a friend who's born in China, who if I had a question about anything Chinese,
I'd hit him up.
I'd be absolutely messaging him.
They don't even need an ambassador. They have 10,000 followers or something.
Right.
Like,
yeah, they have a bunch of
send a
people.
message. Somebody's written you, like
Say, hey, could you mind reading this for me?
Services out there. Spend a couple $100. Send it to a professional company.
And that's the thing. There is a massive list of companies who will do that for you. I'm just saying, even if you didn't want to go that route, there's still thousands of people that follow you that would do it for you.
It just takes effort in those regards.
So
the marketing thing, I get it. That's just not their thing.
That's tough.
I'm not the best at marketing.
No,
so
neither am I.
I would be like, well, who's going to do this?
Yeah, right.
So, they do their thing there, I guess.
Right.
Somebody at the company had to have seen that word shark because you load the board up in the box and then you ship that box off.
I just don't
right?
think they know. I don't think a lot.
Imagine you're working here and we get boxes sent that are written in Chinese. Would you know if it's
Oh, yeah, you're right. I look at it and got no idea what that says.
The person assembling the board may not speak English.
Yeah, you're
or
right.
not even not knowing if it says shark, but being able to distinguish between an H and a T.
Right.
Yeah.
Start look pretty similar.
Very, very valid points.
People running these businesses speak so English.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the people working for them.
Yeah.
That they don't need to.
Yeah,
right. Because when you think of their customer support and how their language, that language barrier is very obvious, that's the best of them.
And
that's the best they got.
Yeah.
We talk to the same people all the time when we deal with a vendor overseas because I don't think there are any others that can service, the U.S.
It's interesting. So anyways, no hate to them. No hate to not trying to talk shit about China or anything specific.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I think it's funny. I think
it's funny.
It's funny.
Meepo, speaking of Meepo, we got a Meep Nasty up on the rack. A hurricane.
What?
The Meep Nasty,
That's
bro.
the new box.
The Meep Nasty.
You're going to leave a Meep Nasty up.
Yeah, so I've always, when I first started talking to Fred and I found out that he had that, I called it a Meep Nasty one time, bro, and it just stuck with like me and him, and so it's always been like a thing. So yeah, we do have a Meepo hurricane in there, and
we're gonna geckoderm it.
Yep, we're gonna geckoderm it, and then hopefully James will bring his remote, or Jim. I think he goes by Jim. Yeah, Jimmy. Jimmy will bring his remote when he picks it up on Friday, and hopefully we get to go
ride it.
I want to ride it. I just want to ride it around
testing. We'll do a little bit of other testing. He kind of gave us the okay to go for it, and we'll make sure it's all shiny.
Yes, and nice. Yeah, because I've always wanted to hop on it. I've heard
it.
Yeah,
it's heavy. Big board.
It's heavy, bro. It's heavier than your endurance for sure. Your endurance has that one beat on weight by pounds. I'm willing to say.
The H and the T are kind of close together on the keyboard, but not
it's
quite.
It's
not quite.
It's a shark.
No,
anyways,
that's an air ball.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Topic number 3.
Okay.
Esk8 confessions. Maddie, would you like to elaborate on this one?
Yeah. So this is also no hate. This is a no judgment zone. These people submitted these willingly on the forums.
Oh, okay. Cool.
These are like confessions. This is like.
So these be like no name or
totally anonymous?
No, they're anonymous. I mean, you could probably go.
We all got the left leg.
You could probably go find it on the forums if you wanted to. I probably couldn't stop you, but but no, I don't have any like names associated with that.
Okay.
All right,
that's good.
Let's go for it.
So they are willingly putting out there that they do these things.
Okay.
So
I will hopefully get to agree that I do
some
a
of them
couple.
are worse than others, but we'll see. The first one is I never use Loctite. Curing process takes too long.
Okay,
what?
That's impatience.
A day?
Yeah, that's impatience. Well, I rarely use Loctite, but I only put it on the stuff that it absolutely has to go on.
Only things I ever use Loctite on are motor screws.
Yep,
that's
motor
it.
mount screws.
The only thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is.
Yeah, but
I don't ever use it.
see, this is why that person has the problem, which is why I also do not use Loctite.
But yeah, that's all right. It's okay not to use Loctite. Just know that if your shit falls apart, you can't be mad at
the idea of
board.
having a 2-in-1 board that allows you to change between different pulleys. Takes the idea of adjusting your motors out every time if you're undoing and doing.
Those don't need to be Loctited though.
Well, then tell me another area because
only your
motor mounts.
The motor mount
a nut on the back.
Yeah, you don't need those.
That connects to the truck.
You don't need those.
You don't need it there either.
That's the only place I'll Loctite
I'm trying to figure out where people use Loctite on some of these boards anyways. Now in my LaQual,
it's just those.
The motor mount goes into my truck and it's a giant M8 and you're damn right I Loctite that thing.
Yeah.
But that motor mount, that's how the design is.
Right.
And I don't ever change that thing.
Right.
But again, my motors, I don't change the pulley setup, but I know not using Loctite, I have to do more regular maintenance, which is
that's fine with it, honestly.
Every 2 to 3 rides, take your shit apart, blow it out with air, and just check the important stuff, right?
Right.
Chances are your enclosure is not falling off if you have a bottom-mounted enclosure.
Right.
Yeah.
You can check that maybe once a month, but just check your motor mounts real quick. Just check those things because all those little rattles, they just grow and grow and grow.
I think that's something that bothers me the most about not our customers, but some customers that write us, is it's like they have not given their board a checkup in 6 months, and then they write us furious because something is loose or rattling or failing. But I'm like, when was the last time someone today emailed us about they think they have a faulty pulley because their pulley is skipping. But I'm like, that's not a pulley issue. That is unless it's physically broken, that is a belt tension problem. So they haven't adjusted the tension of their belt since they've gotten their board. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, because it's just different levels of thinking. Like, first board, you don't know what you're supposed to do. Like, I don't know. It's just weird.
Well, I mean, my first board, I hopped on YouTube and did all sorts of research and watched every video. You can ask Brooke. She hated it because it was the only thing that was on TV.
Right.
And I learned everything that I could. So by like week 1, I had a lot of stuff figured out on what to do. And the main thing that I had taken was that regular maintenance.
Right.
Is the most important thing that you can do on Esk8, especially if you're running street wheels.
I think we're going to have to give this person a free pass.
Yeah, that one's fine.
You get a pass for sure.
Like, we're okay with
We're all right with that one.
All right.
Just gotta know your shit.
Skate in flip-flops and board shorts.
I used to do that all the time. All the time I did that.
board shorts, but not flip-flops.
I'll never do it again, but I used to do it around campus all the time. All the time. Yeah. I hit my top speed on my first board at like 26 miles an hour in flip-flops, no helmet.
I remember Mike telling you.
Flippers.
Yep. And I actually I ended up I had a single motor. My motor started to skip because my belt tension wasn't correct. Probably because it wasn't even Loctite.
Rookie.
Yeah. And I was coming up to a turn and I couldn't make the turn, and I turning as hard as I can, no brakes pretty much. And I go right parallel with a curb, and I end up just kind of like falling into the curb, and I drag my big toe across the curb for like 10, 15 feet.
Oh, man.
Cut the hole.
Scraped it up good. Huh?
Totally avoidable if I was just wearing shoes.
Totally available. Have you ever skated in flip-flops?
I think
to the mailbox probably, right?
Yeah, to the mailbox and then to the pool.
Yeah.
But I'm going 8.
Yeah.
I got a towel wrapped around and drink in my hand. I'm just like, I'm going to the pool.
Right.
So I take my board.
That's different.
But no.
And I don't do it because it's not a safety thing. I hate the way my feet look. I don't like people seeing my feet.
I don't do it.
I'm like gripped into my board.
So
I have the raptor claw
exactly,
going.
bro. I don't need people seeing me wrapping around my board. So it's like I choose
that's the last thing I need.
Yeah. So I was so insecure about my feet that I got them tattooed. One of them all the way, and then the second one I didn't do all the set because that shit hurt. But yeah. Anyway, so
interesting,
dude. That's why you guys never see me in
this
flops, bro.
This person needs to go to kangaroo court.
All
right, so I wouldn't do that. A hole in battery enclosure on with duct tape because I didn't want to use inserts.
Yes, dude.
He just continues. He never.
It's wrapped around with duct tape.
Oh, why do I feel like I seen this?
So I see this
in California.
Yeah.
You know what I see a lot too is they'll saran wrap it just to go test it.
Oh yeah.
Before they actually mount it.
Okay.
This insinuated permanence.
Yeah, that's permanent. Duct tape seems pretty
one,
permanent, bro.
We saw this though.
Yeah, I've seen it many times.
Yes.
I saw this on
because I didn't want to use
Evolve employee that was doing some like Frankenstein on a board, and he had a carbon fiber GTR.
Okay.
And then he had duct taped.
A bamboo battery to the bottom
GTR
of it?
To the bottom. And then he put the motors out the front, so he had a four-wheel drive.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
But he couldn't connect the ESC, so he had 2 remotes with popsicle sticks
together.
And he would pull one remote, and it would push the other remote, and he could do the same thing on the brake. So I think he held like inside anyways. And so
that's pretty cool.
And he would rip. Dude. It was funny. And so by the end of it, we looked at like his battery percentage, and they were different, which I thought was odd. Okay, but it was still, he had like 77% in one and like 84% in the other, and we were all dead.
Wow.
Like we were toast. We had gone 20 miles.
That's efficient.
Yeah, it's just way more efficient.
Well, and double the battery. Yeah. Well, it's like riding your normal board at half the weight.
Right. Yeah. So that was cool. He had it duct taped. Now, mind you, that was like the crazy. People do some crazy shit.
People do some crazy shit.
I mean, a duct tape can fix almost anything.
With regular maintenance?
That's to fix something. That's not like, let's build it that way to begin with.
I like this person's style. All right. I like his style.
All right. I keep all my boards 100% all the time.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't even care about that.
Well, so
they have 10 boards.
Whoa.
Oh. They have 10 boards.
So this was a common one, and I saw at least 3 people talking about it. One guy had 4 boards, one person had 6, and one had 10.
Wow.
So
I just don't know how often you're riding each of those 10
Yeah,
boards,
that's
how
the only
long
thing I'll
they're
say.
stored.
See, I keep my personal board quite high all the time because I'm always
on it.
I'm going to be riding it relatively soon. So I don't mind that, but if I had 10, I wouldn't do that. I'd keep them all like 60% or so.
Yeah, because don't you always say, Jacob, when you get home, plug your shit in and charge it?
Look, so here's what I'm scared of at the 60%. Let's say you leave it at 60%, and then you go that like 3 weeks where you don't ride, or the month, or whatever, and now your battery's depleting faster and faster.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully your shit doesn't fail, and we all,
I don't keep a battery long enough for it to matter.
That was my point. If the flip side is you're either using it every day, and so it's charging 100%, and then screw it, you're gonna wear out your battery just because of that.
You're using it,
or the flip side is cool. You've had a board for 5 years and it sat there at 60% the whole time.
Who cares?
Who gives you shit? You never rode it, so I don't care about this.
Yeah, that's true. I don't. Yeah, I agree.
I would rather I plug in Christina's board once a week, and she hasn't ridden that thing in a year. But I know it's got 100%. Right. It runs. I turn the remote on. I go ring, ring, ring. It goes ring, ring, ring.
Yeah.
I go, cool. All right, baby, you want to go for a ride? No. All right, I didn't think so.
Yeah,
we try again next week. But like that's just.
Yeah, my main transportation board I keep 100%.
I'd rather.
Yeah. Well, you ride yours every day.
Yeah.
I like to know I can just grab it and go.
Right.
Not like what happened the other night.
The luxury. What happened the other night?
We went on a group ride Saturday night. We had rode that morning.
He had like 30% battery.
And we rode Red Rock, and I 20 miles, get home, thought I plugged it in. Didn't quite charge. Went to the pool, got sunburned. Was like, let's go for another ride. We end up downtown. I had 50%.
Shoot.
Well, this is lame.
That sucks.
Mind.
All right. What's the next one? I check every bolt before and after every single ride. That's not a confession. That's a brag.
Yeah, that's a brag.
I think it's a little excessive.
That is a little excessive.
Before and after.
Nope.
I give a little quick once over before, and then after I don't care. I just all right, made it home. I'll worry about it before my next ride.
Yeah, it's before my ride. I check belts and trucks.
See, you go how many miles you ride to work?
10 miles to 10 miles home.
Really?
Yeah,
it's that many, huh?
Yeah, I'm putting in 50 miles a week.
No, you're putting in 100 miles a week.
Yeah, 100 miles.
You're doing 100.
Yeah,
you're doing 100 miles a week.
God.
I'm an after ride maintenance because then I don't have to worry about it next time I go.
Okay.
As soon as I'm done, it's hot, it's dirty, I'm sweaty. May as well give it a wipe down, hit it with air, check
and then shower after.
Because then things are loose. Right? If it gets warm and then it cools back off, well, you're not gonna know until your board heats back up. Belt stretch a little.
I know I'm hot as fuck when I get home.
I knock it out then, and I don't worry about it. That way, when I just again, it's that 100% idea. Then I just grab my board next time, and I'm not worried about my belt.
Right. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. All right. So when
you gotta learn your own systems.
I know my motors are no longer aligned, and I still ride the board.
What?
Aligned?
Are we gonna say like physical alignment, like it's bent, or are we saying
I don't know, maybe
you got a 190 and a 170?
If it works, it works. I guess.
If it works and works safe, ride it.
Yeah, that's cool. I guess.
Yeah, don't be a bitch.
All right,
go out there and skate.
You got any more? Okay, I have spent more on parts for my board than I've spent on my lifetime maintenance of my car.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, that's probably true.
Yeah,
that's probably a lot of people's case.
Yeah, Esk8 can be a little expensive.
I haven't spent that. Well, see, I don't really. All the things I've bought are just like inventory things, so it's hard to say how much I've really spent.
Yeah, you spent like a couple $100,000 on parts. So
so I don't know how
that counts.
Yeah, every year, I spend. Okay, so that's probably a lot. For some of these boards are very expensive, so I could see that for sure.
And if you're like changing stuff, if you just I like to tinker,
right?
It's you can't. It's hard to try.
Yeah,
right.
To test. Nobody wants to let you borrow.
Yeah.
I have enough parts to build 6 boards, and I currently have 0 functioning boards. That's hilarious.
Right. I've heard a couple of people say that before. I couldn't be like that. If I had all those parts, I would have to I would have to have the board first, then the battery, then all the other parts.
I think it's just the indecisiveness of people.
Yeah.
They just don't know what they want to build, so they have
too
many options. Like they're drowning in options.
They need to get some drugs because
they
go do drugs.
We're not going to recommend drugs.
You'll put all your shit together real quick, man.
Oh, we'll get into that. Don't worry.
We do not condone drugs.
That does come up in a minute.
Oh, good.
Not quite yet.
I weld P groups together with car battery. Oh, I've seen people do this.
Mean?
They're using a car battery to short pretty much the battery, which creates a weld. Because all our welders are controlled shorts. Yes. That's all they really are. So they're just using a car battery to do it. I mean, I wouldn't, because you really can't control anything.
No, there's a bunch of other stuff.
I've seen people do it. It's janky, but it works. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, and we'll never do it. But I've seen people do it, so that's not crazy to me. But
I feel like I would see the
he's not a forum builder,
right?
I'm sure not. I'm sure he's just hacking things together.
This is the Trailer Park Boys.
I only work on my board when I'm high, and recently blew up a power switch.
Okay, well, what kind of high, buddy? But anyways.
Oh, like only when he's high, and because of that, recently blew up a power switch.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll probably do it.
Stick a fork in there.
Yeah.
Maybe quit smoking weed, man. Maybe that's not for you.
Some of these things I'm reading, and it starts to make more sense, the emails that I get.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, you guys are all...
You're all
you guys party.
Yeah,
you guys party a little too much.
Like, are you high? Like, the answer is yes.
Yes,
they were.
Okay.
It's wild.
That makes sense.
The level of, like, the reading level that they clearly have sometimes when they're submitting emails, it's only because they're high. If they weren't high, they'd probably write a great email. But it's like, I don't understand, like, I don't know. It's interesting. Okay, what do we got? I only work my board after having a few drinks. I wired a connector on backwards and started a fire. I then stuck a multimeter probe into the battery XT to check whether I had killed my pack, and it arced. Blew my meter sky high, and it welded the probes to the connector.
Yes, that's awesome.
How?
He said he had smashed a 6-pack.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's more than a few drinks.
Jeez.
This is such I guess it's a
eye-opening, man.
It's a theme of.
Yeah. It's that thing where you like, I'm gonna relax.
I'm gonna chill.
Guys used to do it and take apart guns. Do you imagine that?
Yeah. Oh my God, no.
Yeah. That's how my great grandpa died.
See what?
He was cleaning his gun drunk and he
shot himself. No.
I don't mean to make a joke about that. I'm sorry.
No, that's not why I said it.
It's a thing, right?
But you're right. It's why put yourself in these high risk situations.
I don't get that.
My mom sipping on a little scotch, doing her knitting over here. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but it's a little
kind of same.
The worst that can happen is she messes up her.
Mom.
I mean, the guy welding with the car battery probably shouldn't be.
Yeah,
he's drinking acid, battery acid.
Exactly. That's all bad.
Put another one on my tongue.
So that's actually the last one that I have, and then so this is a transition, and it's not meant to be that I feel this way about those people. Like, I don't want it to seem like I'm talking about them in this topic, but there was a discussion recently actually between us and some friends that it seems like a lot of members of the community deal with mental health issues. A lot of people deal with mental health issues.
A lot of people do, but I think this community specifically has a high concentration.
The question was posed is like, the extreme is obviously, are all Esk8 riders mentally ill? But I think the more realistic question would be that are they more prone to mental health problems?
So I think people with mental health issues like to do, now again, this is a very generalization, like to participate in some higher risk activity.
Yep, for sure.
Including Esk8, dangerous more mountain biking,
all sorts of stuff. Any
ATVs,
sport. A lot of extreme.
dirt bike, whatever your sport of choice is. I think it's a correlation because I don't know. I'm not an expert, and I don't want to generalize too much because I feel like this is we'll get canceled or something. But
I think though you see that kind of common post comes out every once in a while. It's like, oh, went out for a ride to clear my head.
Yeah,
you see these more consistent, less so than a motocross rider. He has aggression. He wants those guys you're getting out real energy where. If I'm going out on a skate to clear my head, I'm not really using a lot of energy. If anything, I'm trying to relax or chill out. I don't know.
Not me. I was skating super aggressive last night, and I was in a horrible mood.
Yeah,
and I can't. If I'm in a bad mood, I have to skate harder.
That's why I don't think I don't think they go together though. I don't think you can.
I don't think one causes
push
the other.
one to such an extreme.
But I also think it's not a coincidence that so many members of the community have drug and alcohol problems either. It's not a.
I think that it's just that a lot of people have mental health problems and a lot of people have drug problems, and we're just now.
But I think we gravitate. I think people like that gravitate
towards our sport and everything.
Towards a sport of. I think you have to be a little crazy to hop on one of these things.
Yeah, and go 30
and just
miles
like
an
you
hour.
still have to have some level of like you're not quite right because you're on one of these things 130 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's already
there's
you got.
There's an inherent disregard for your own safety,
right?
A little bit, not entirely. I mean, obviously
not entirely,
you guys do care about your own safety, but there has to be a little bit in you that is compromising on that. I mean, you broke your freaking hip, and then got right back on. Like, there has to be a little bit of a lack of self-regard there.
Yes,
a little bit. I think,
it makes a lot of sense for sure.
So again, I'm not saying this affects everybody, but I just feel like there's, of course, mental health, or mental illness affects a lot of everyone.
People.
I mean, you could say that every single person in the world has some type of mental health thing.
And if you don't, your life is too good.
No, right? But even then, you got something going on. But I'm just thinking, I just feel like the concentration's a little higher in this sport.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree. I would.
Now that's just a feeling. There's no fact. There's no numbers. There's no nothing. I would be interested to.
Well, from the conversations that I've had, I've had a good conversation with Caddy also about this, the whole mental health and aspect of it.
He's been very open about
his. He has been very open about
experiences.
His alcoholism and everything, and just his whole past life, and how he finally got cleaned up and started Esk8.
In March when I'm sure he's coming. I'm sure he'll end up being back for a convention. We should get him on the podcast because he's got or maybe if he's down for a quick Vegas trip, I would love to have him on.
Yeah, come on.
He's a cool guy.
Hell yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, and he's got some good stories too.
You know what? I was gonna say he's short, but I'm starting to realize that all these really good riders are smaller dudes.
Wow, they're close to
yeah.
I
feel like we need to
I'm a short guy.
We need to get shorter.
I'm 5'7" on a good day.
Yeah.
On a good day, man.
That's why mountain boards are good. Takes that away.
Old dirt boards, bro.
Yeah.
Dirt boards.
Get your dirt.
You guys almost got a whole dirt board together.
Yeah, we do.
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, our Hero Bro board is looking really good.
Yep.
A couple of them.
We gotta make a few more parts.
Okay.
We're gonna get them CNC'd up, and we'll be pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. Anything else?
That's all.
That's our show.
Hey, there we go.
That's cool.
That's
cool.
Fun. I like that one.
So yeah, I know it's
How about you guys all confess something?
Okay.
Ooh, I have a couple confessions.
All right.
Damn.
Yes.
Esk8 related. I should have specified.
Yes.
That might change.
I have a confession from last night.
Okay. From
last night. Well, we did our no break challenge at his hill.
This is a new thing. I think we need to talk about more. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's got you know the hill on the way up to his house, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you can go up over the crest and go back up again. And so me and Jacob and Anthony, we were like, let's hit this and see who can get down and not hit the brakes. First one hits the brakes is a bitch, right?
Of course, it's called the Don't Be a Bitch challenge.
So
but
I will just point out that the rest of the world would consider this mental illness.
Okay.
But continue.
There we go. This goes with
he
it.
explains this, know that there is a strategy behind all
yes,
this.
Yes, there is
a way.
So one way to know how to slow down if you don't have your brakes is to carve.
Yeah.
And so what this does is it teaches you how to carve and keeps your speed lower while you're going down a hill. Right. So while we're going down the hill, I told everybody that I hit the brake a lot farther down the hill than I really did, and I hit that thing way up there, bro, a couple different times. It was like, oh god.
Did you lose?
I don't think I lost.
It's tough to tell. I mean, we did it once, and we were,
because you're carving,
making
bro.
a joke about it.
Super
but
tough.
I do think it would be a really cool thing if you could do with your buddies. Find a hill that is a safe hill that's not overly steep, but the challenge is who can get down. Who can get the farthest without using their brake? Because you hit a point, like I would literally carve up the hill backwards, and you'd make almost a figure 8.
You're making.
And so in the beginning,
so the question is, who can get down the slowest without the brakes?
Essentially, it's whoever can get this. So that's the strategy. It's not about who bombs, who fastest.
You're not going straight down.
You have to go down the hill sideways, and you have to be able to carve up backwards and make these 8s. And as you get going, it gets a little faster, and you have to catch.
Probably should have specified that, right?
Yeah, so last one down the hill wins.
Yes,
essentially.
As long as you don't hit the
you
brakes.
don't use the brakes. I've sort of mastered this hill because I leave my house with 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this one's going to be fun. And I have to go all the way across.
Yeah.
Last night, though, we had some cars on the side of the road.
Yep.
And so I couldn't get all the way to the curb. So finally I'm going, I'm like,
and you get to cook and cook.
You head straight down. You're like, I lose. But it's pretty fun. That was a really good challenge.
Cool.
And another, before we get off, I want to do a group ride that we can't go over 15 miles an hour.
Can't go over 15.
We did that.
Cannot go over 15 miles an hour.
Why?
Because I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun to get people to say, quit going a straight fucking line. I don't care. But I don't care how fast your board is.
Yeah.
I don't care how much pad.
Let's actually hang out.
Let's just hang out as a group, ride as a group. It's only going to be 10 miles and let's just go have some fun.
I like that.
And like, enjoy it.
A Sunday
social.
One
wheel guys have a great ride because they are all able to ride together and they don't go that fast.
No.
I'm not saying I want to go hang out and ride with one wheel group, but whatever they're doing seems to work.
I love it, man.
And it's
so much
allowing those guys to hang out, while they're on their ride.
I just think when we're riding all at 25, 30 miles an hour, I think we're just like, for me, I feel like I'm white knuckling and I just can't talk to anybody.
We turn into this long, snake and the guy at the front doesn't give a shit about the dude at the back, but the guys in the middle are like, wait a minute, do I go faster or do I slow down? So screw that. You know, like
I agree.
It's not it's just something.
That's why I kind of don't like group rides that much. I like small. I like groups like sub 10.
Yep. Me too.
Sub 10, I think.
Man, we learned a lot from this last summer and fall and everything from
we
group
tried
rides,
all
bro.
Different
We did
sorts.
a lot of group rides this last season.
Yeah.
For sure. A lot.
10? We didn't do 2 rides the same either.
Nope.
No.
And we traveled all the way around the valley, inside, outside. So we learned a lot. And I can honestly say that I'm cool with sub 10.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
am I the only one that hit the confession? No.
Oh,
assholes.
Man.
Okay. No, come on.
Shit.
Somebody.
I'm trying to think of a good one.
Okay.
I feel like Mike always shares.
So you know what? I would say that my personal boards are always a mess. Okay. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's like
my personal board.
Like the boards that I've built, I feel like other people last, but the ones that I build for myself, there's always a problem with something. Oh, you know what? I'll confess something. My boards are almost always in not operable, because I've sold a part because someone was so desperate for it off of my personal board.
Yeah.
There's people who email us so desperate because they broke something and I don't have any more.
Yeah.
And they're like, please, if you got anything used, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, dude, here are my motor mounts off my board. So now my board doesn't work because I don't have mounts. So now I have to wait and replace them when my shipment comes in, which could be weeks, a month, whatever. I do that quite often. And I've actually made a rule. I've told myself I will not be selling off anything on my endurances right now because we need them to work for our own testing purposes. But prior to that, though, I would consistently sell off anything that someone desperately needed because I felt like I wanted them to have it.
Keep the customer happy.
Yeah, I just felt like, there's nowhere else to get it. I couldn't even but that was years ago, but there's a lot more places to get parts now that I would just maybe recommend them buying it from them instead. But until then, though, I would consistently sell off all my own parts. So my boards are always in disrepair because I don't know.
I think I know what Jacob's Esk8 confession is going to be.
Oh, geez, what is it?
I think that he is going to say that he enjoys cleaning his boards too much. It brings him too much pleasure.
What does?
Is it going to be something along the cleaning?
And I didn't even think of that as a confession. But some people think it's weird. But
yeah, he does.
I don't ever have to clean my boards because Jacob cleans all my boards for me.
He'll clean all of our stuff, bro. It's like crazy.
Then here's maybe an embarrassing confession. When people come over, they'll hang out for a weekend, whatever, and it's usually people with boards.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will get up early in the morning. And
you will
I'll charge everybody's shit.
Yeah.
I'll clean them. I'll maintenance them.
I'll
make sure they're fucking ready to go, dude. And they'll come down and they're like, "Oh, good morning." I'm like, "Hey, bro, I cleaned all your."
Your shit's shining, homie, with tire shine.
Why'd you do that? I'm like,
it's mental illness.
Right?
It's mental illness. That is a compulsive disorder.
I'm smashing a monster at 5 a.m. I'm just like, I'm in the zone.
Kind of nice
though.
It cleans. It's funny because whenever we show up to rides and if my shit's dirty, Jacob looks at me with disgust, bro. He's like,
really,
what
bro?
the fuck is wrong with you, man?
5 minutes.
I told you to show up and show out and clean it up, dude. Come on. All right, so you start pulling towels out.
It's like Deion Sanders, right? You look good, you play good.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's funny. That's good shit.
All right, guys. I appreciate
Those
you.
are our confessions.
I think that's our time, right?
Yeah.
Man, you got me.
Got him.
All right, guys. I appreciate you. We will hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.
Also, oh man, we forgot to plug it. Join our Discord server. It's in the description below. We're talking about Esk8 stuff all week. Anyways, have a good one. And we will see you next week.
All right, guys. Bye.
See you.
Bye.